Hi, this is Bob Wilson with Industrial Landons. Today's video, we want to show how to add a switch into your standard floor signal station. So if you're wanting to tie a piece of automation into it, you want to count something, there's additional inputs on the system. There are basically 2 inputs per light, and then you also have an additional 7 inputs that you can tie into that will transmit data across to the web database. But won't turn any lights or anything else on. It's real easy to do, so we wanted to kind of demonstrate that. So as you can see, we got our standard floor signal station with the regular switch box on. First thing you want to do is turn the device off. Go ahead and unplug it. We'll leave the switch box attached. Next, you want to, you'll notice on the bottom of the box, we've already put in an extra hole for it. Just remove the little red cap and then take the cover off of the unit. Now with the cover removed, we need to tie in, the system uses a contact closure connection. So very simple, just close the switch. So what we need is a ground wire and then a wire for any of the connections. So in this case, we're just going to do a single connection to the red light. You don't have to use the receptacles and cord sets. That's what we're going to use today, just to make it easy. That does make it easy, so you can, if you need to move the unit, you can unhook the cabling going to the switch that you've added, but you don't have to if you want to just use wires and run it straight in here. So all I'm going to do now is I'm going to add this cord set onto, or the receptacle onto the box. So we're going to screw this into here. Screw that on. Now I'm going to find the black wire. And this we're going to use for our common ground. And basically there's a couple, you see these green connectors in here. We've got one bank, it's just a spring-loaded connection. So we've got one bank in here that is our ground connection. So I'm just going to push in. Just pick one here. Push that in. Slide the wire in. Nice and easy. Then this other one I'm going to add to the red light connection. I'm going to use the blue wire. See, there's already a blue wire here. This bank right here is the connections for our light. So you can see from there's a blue, brown, gray, pink wire. The connection right next to that is the input that if you want to use that same light. So in this case, we're going to put it in right next to the other blue wire, because we're going to use the red. Okay, slide that in there. These other wires I'm not going to tie in right at the moment, so I'm just going to kind of bundle those here for a second. Tuck those in here, keep them out of the way. Now what we want to do is test it. Now one thing is, in using these secondary inputs, go ahead and plug the unit back in, turn it on. One thing that we've got too is with the second input, now what I'm going to use too to plug this in is just a limit switch. So it's just a standard normal open, normal closed position in there. I'm just using the normally open position on it. And I've attached that same blue and black wire to the normally open side of it. With these 2 inputs that we have, the standard input, the way the system comes when you first pull it out of the box, is a solid light when one of your team members turns the light on. So if they activate the system, you're going to get just the light on solid. Now with the secondary input, now that we've got the limit switch on there, say when a gate closes or something happens in the operation that triggers that switch, this input will trigger the light to flash. So it gives you a different visual indication. So from a distance, if you see the light flashing, you know that it wasn't the team member that turned the light on, it was the other source that you have feeding into it. So whether it's another switch box or something like this with a limit switch, you get a little added visual indication of what's going on. Now if you have both lights on, what you'll see is, first you got it flashing. So we've got the light flashing. Now if someone comes and turns the other red light on from the manual, so you've got both inputs going, then what you get is the light flashes faster. So you're covered under all three conditions. So you've got solid. So if the one goes ahead and goes off, it goes back to solid because your team member still has their light on, or back to off. So it's very simple to tie in additional things. It's a contact closure. In that case, with a lot of PLCs, you just need to tie a small relay in there, tie it into the ladder logic, and figure out when that operation occurs, that it just closes that relay, can feed the signal into it, something very easy that you can do on site to add to your system, adds to the flexibility of it. The other feature is, too, that if you're using the database system, that this will also feed across to that system as well. In this case here, we've got this tied in, and so you'll see when the switch comes on, in this case, I've labeled that as the CNC machine, so you see very quickly that'll pop up. You can see that on any computer or on your displays. And then let's say that your operator and the CNC both have it on. So in that case, what you'll get is the system will toggle back and forth, showing you that, hey, both red lights are on, and you can see the duration of time that is on. So just another way that you can see that. You can also tie into those unique inputs and send out different emails depending on who that needs to go to from the CNC. You might want to trigger that it goes to a certain, machinist maintenance personnel versus standard maintenance. However you want to set it up, depending on what you're using it for. So just want to demonstrate how to do that, some more added flexibility in the system if you didn't realize it was in there. As we do start up the web shop, we will sell the just cord sets, receptacles, and probably even throw some of the different limit switches on there and stuff, just to make it easy, one-stop shop to be able to get some of those added accessories for your system. Thank you. If you have any questions, please email us or give us a call.